Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to Hanging Out with Successful Bar Exam Takers. This is episode number 30. And this is a special episode because when I started doing these about a year ago, I didn't know if any students would be willing to come online and share their stories. And well, as you see, we've got now up to 30 of them in a very short period of time. But today is a really special one because I've got a wonderful student who did an amazing thing in the state of Georgia. And so I want to welcome our guest, Dominique Dembo. Hi, Dominique.
Hi.
I'm so glad to have you here, and let's begin by just saying congratulations. You passed the July 2016 bar, right?
I did. Thank you.
Yeah. How's that feel?
Wonderful. It feels exhilarating.
Yeah, it's the best feeling in the world, isn't it?
It is.
Good, good. Well, I want to. This wasn't your first time taking the bar, so what I'd like to do is sort of back up and have you tell our audience a little bit about your story and how you came to be in a position to take the bar in July 2016. So go ahead, tell us about it.
Originally, I went to law school in Pennsylvania. I moved down to Florida following my husband and my children. And I decided that I wanted to take a bar that I felt like I would be able to practice law in. So I took the Georgia bar, did some research, found out celebration, and did the study and everything that Jackson had us do. I didn't pass. I was short 15 points on the February bar and very, very discouraged. I was just like, what's wrong with me? I did all this work, all this time put in. What happened? And, from encouragement from Jackson, my family, my friends, went back over did the review and the course again with Jackson. I passed, actually succeeded gaining back the 15 points and even some more. You need 270 to pass in Georgia, and I got a 281. So
wow. So that means you went from a 255 to a 281 in one sitting. That's pretty remarkable. So congratulations. That must just make you feel great.
It did. It made me feel really good.
Well, I know the question that my audience is thinking, that our audience is thinking about is, how'd she do that? So let's break it down just a little bit. When you first took the Georgia bar exam, you went through all the steps that we had taught. Were you studying full-time or were you working and studying? What was happening?
Well, I am a full-time, but I had a lot on my plate during that time. So I stuck with the agenda that Jackson gave us for studying in the celebration course review. Do that in between working and being a mommy and being a wife. So no, I did not get to take off those months to just study. That was not possible.
Right. Now, so you have children. How many children?
I have two little girls.
Okay. And how old are they?
I have a 5-year-old and almost a 2-year-old. She'll be 2 in February.
Okay. Well, God bless you, because I understand those are those are wild ages, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay. So the 2-year-old, the 5-year-old, you have a full-time job, you got family, and you're studying for the bar. How did you do that? How did you put that together?
Organization.
Okay. Yeah. Organization and prayer. That's awesome. So let me see if I've got this right. You've got 2 little kids. You're married. You've got work. You're studying, right? There's a lot going on in your life. So how do you get through all of that? How did you put it all together?
Really and truly, I stuck to a schedule. Your guideline, your timeline. I kind of made dates. I blocked out time and I stuck with that. Or at least I try to stick with that religiously, but of course life happens. But that's pretty much it. I tried to do while I was working. I would take an hour. My job is flexible. I took an hour when I could throughout the day, lunchtime, study. When I got home, I would wait till the girls went in bed and I would study for maybe 2-3 hours. So I would say probably through the week, I was at least studying for probably 20 hours. And then the weekend, I would make up Saturday and Sunday studying at least 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. And psychologically, I mean, you've taken the Pennsylvania bar, right? And how here you are in Georgia. And what's it feel like that first time you're taking it in Georgia, just in terms of your own mental sort of view of the process?
Nervous.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't know what I was expecting. Each bar is different. So it still has nerve wracking of not knowing what to expect.
Right.
Um, just try to be calm and know that, hey, I want to pass, but at the end of the day, I still have life goes on around me. So I'm gonna do what I came to do, and I prepared for it. So this is what, let's do it,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. So you took the February 2016 Georgia bar. You get a 255. You need a 270 to pass. And we talked after that. But why don't you share a little bit about how it felt at that point to you and sort of what your thought process was?
I guess it was disbelief. I'm a perfectionist, and it's kind of like, I put all this time, all this work into this. Like, I literally put my life on hold. Like, my daughter turned 1 in February 10th. I barely had a birthday party for her because I was studying around the clock. So it was just like really, this is what my life has come, and I didn't even what all this hard work for nothing. So it was to me a great disappointment. And I took a step back and I was like, okay, I needed a 270 a pass. I got a 255. I wasn't that far off. So maybe there was something that I could have done better. And I think my frustration with Georgia is Georgia doesn't break it down. So it was like, got to start all over from the beginning. But like, and we talked. I kind of felt like I knew where my areas lacked at. And when I went down and restudied again, I focused on those areas. And I think that helped make a big difference the second time coming around.
Yeah, I thought that one of the things that really stood out to me was your determination and your ability to keep all those balls up in the air, to juggle everything. I think you and I had some conferences where you called me from the front seat of your car.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, where are you, Dominique? It's like, well, okay, I had to get out of the office. This is the only time I could talk to you, so I'm sitting in the car. Remember those? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you were balancing all of that, and you were working very systematically leading up to the July exam, and I also thought pretty much no drama. You were just doing the work you had to do. You were following the steps, but also trying to approach the study a little differently, weren't you? In terms of just, here are the things I need to improve on. I'm going to focus on those.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are not in Georgia, what Dominique's talking about is that the Georgia examiners don't give you any feedback at all after the exam. They tell you a multi-state number and a total number, and that's it. And if you don't even get a high enough multi-state number, they don't even read your essays. So you're really dealing with almost no information. So you're kind of flying blind, and you're thinking, well, okay, I got to move this up, but who knows what part? Where did I do well? Where did I have a problem? And I knew from the work that we had done that you knew how to write, that you were a good writer, that you understood the law, and you were obviously working hard, but there was a lot of competing pressure on you to get all of these things put together. And I think for a lot of our audience, the question that probably is in their mind is, if you failed the bar exam now a couple of times in different places, in different circumstances, why did you not just give up? Why didn't you just get so frustrated and say, I can never do it? What got you through that process leading up to July?
Two things. One, I didn't want it to be a roadblock. I've wanted to be an attorney since I was like 5, probably. And to me, I have a very deep rooted spiritual belief in the higher being, in God, if that's okay for me to say that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And my thought has always been, God would not have brought me this far for me not to succeed. So it's always on his time, not mine. And if it took me 3 more times to do this, I know God didn't put a dream in my heart for it not to be reality, or it not to be something. I have an awesome job that I love. It has nothing to do with legal, but I still have this itch in the back that said, you have a higher calling. And whatever attorney or however law is supposed to bring me that way, I knew I needed to fulfill my end of the bargain. And that meant taking that bar 1 more time or 2 more times, or however God saw fit. So that was my determination.
Yeah. And I think, I talk to a lot of parents of young children. We talk about modeling for your kids. What do you think your 5-year-old thought about all this?
She was excited. She was like, "Well, mommy, why are you screaming? What's going on?" And I said, "You remember all those nights mommy was studying that big test? Well, I passed it." And she said to me, and excuse me if I break down, but she said, "Mommy, I'm so proud of you."
Folks, that's the whole story right there. that's that's the lead. Okay, I mean, we buried the lead there, but that's what it's really about. I'm proud of you too, Dominique, and I know your family is proud of you. What I think so often people fail to recognize that we're modeling for our kids. We're showing them what we think is important. Whether we pass or fail is really not as important as the fact that we persevere and the way that we handle it. And I have no doubt that both of your girls will not be afraid of tests as they grow up, that they'll know that mommy did something pretty special, even though they don't know exactly what that bar exam thing is. But what a great testimony to them about how to go through life, right? And how to take these things on. Well, so share with me a little bit about what it was like going back in to take the bar in July, the actual process of going in and taking the exam.
It was definitely nerve-wracking for me. So I was just like, I don't want to take this again. But when I got in there and I sat down and I said to myself, hey, let's do this. I calmed down and I just prayed and I said, Lord, if this is your will, then we will get this done. Mm-hmm. And I guess a sense of peace finally came over me and I did it. I will say I kept to myself. Like, I did not talk to other bar people.
I think that was my advice, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I just couldn't. It was like I had rented a car this time. I sat in the car, I ate my lunch, listened to some music, and I didn't talk to anybody. I was so antisocial, you wouldn't have believed it. But that helped me because it kept me focused, and I didn't that panic and other nonsense that's going on with everybody else's craziness kept me sane because I wasn't involved in it. So I think that definitely helped as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And, you weren't trying to memorize the law. You were taking the approach, and you used our writing style, right? Fact, law, application. Did that help you in terms of just having the confidence? Yeah.
Yes. Even when the question, like one of the questions, I was just like, okay, I know the facts, I know a little bit of the law. I'm going to put it together and I'm going to apply it. And that's all. That's what I kept saying. I think I even wrote in the book, fact, law, an application for them. And that grounded me. Not only did it grounded me, but it helped me be focused in what I was writing. So you have that sense of panic. As soon as you open the book, you read the question, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But being able to organize your thoughts in that way helps so much. It just gives you a clearer path to go down. And you realize you do know this. Let's get it. Let's write it.
Yeah, I think you absolutely did know it. And I think getting that confidence that you knew it and knowing how to express it certainly made a difference on the first day of the exam. When you got to the multi-state on Wednesday, what was that like?
The multi-state, well, I will have to say this because I knew that multi-state probably is what crushed me the first time going around. And the second time I studied and worked diligently on practice questions. And when I finally opened that book and I read a couple questions and was like, I know these answers. Oh my God, I know these answers. It's this one. Now, there may have been maybe one or two questions that I was like, God, please just tell me what the answer is. But overall, I was so confident because I knew how they were asking the questions. I knew what to look for. And it was just like, I know these answers. I'm confident. I think that's what brought it over the top, that I was confident in what I was saying and what I do because I knew my answers. I knew, not to say I knew what the question was going to be, I knew what they were looking for. So I was able to provide that to them.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? And so you finish the exam, you're all done, and now there's the long wait.
Oh.
Yeah, tell me about the wait.
I kept myself busy. So I think maybe the week or two, it was a sigh of relief. I was like, oh, it's done. It's over with. I had a lot of family and colleagues asking me how did I think I did, and I was just like, I'm not telling you until I pass. That's it. Don't ask me no questions. And I think, you know, I would think I movie watched, I Netflix binged, and just tried to relax and spend more time with my girls and my family, my husband, because I know they felt kind of neglected during that time, and I appreciate them for being patient with me. So I showed that appreciation at the time. Now, I will say, when October came around, I started to get a little nervous and anxious, but I just kept praying and just believing and knowing that, again, I did put in the work. Me and God had a couple conversations, and I felt confident that I did what I needed to do this time around. I kept saying, I actually have it in my agenda that for my vision plan, I will pass the Georgia bar with a 270. And I think I wrote that around everywhere, and looked at it as a reminder every day that I passed with 270. So I succeeded that. But I think having that confidence and visualization of your goals, you're able to attain it, because it starts in the mind.
Yeah, yeah. Setting up a vision board, having that written down, knowing it, putting it in front of you, really important pieces for sure. Georgia then, of course, in their usual way, we had the October surprise, and suddenly the results are there. I mean, way in advance. There've been a lot of times when we don't get results in Georgia until Thanksgiving. So the results come out, and how did you hear about the results being out?
Of course, they sent me an email.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, we're going to release it at this time. And then I'm not on social media. Well, I just got on Instagram, but I'm not on social media. So I wasn't able to see who passed and who didn't. I just waited until I saw the email, and then I waited till my husband got home, and I told him, hey, go online and look for me.
So you made your husband look.
I did. I made him look.
Add a way to go. All right. Yeah. So your husband goes online, he looks, and what happens next?
He read it, and then he looked down, and at first it looked like it wasn't a good answer, and then he looked up and he started smiling, and I was like, he's like, you passed. I was like, for real? So he turns the computer to me, and I read it, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like screaming on the rooftop, jumping around. Yeah, it was pretty, I wasn't brave enough to look myself first. My husband did it.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, he's got to feel pretty excited as well for you, right?
Yeah. We're all excited, and he's so proud of me.
Yeah. That's an awesome story. And I mean, what an accomplishment to not only go through all of this, then to pass with a really good score. I mean, 11 scale points over passing is not an insignificant number. It's a big, big number to hit. So it validated, I think, all the work that you had done. What advice would you have for somebody who's maybe watching or listening to this, who's taken a bar, whether it's Georgia or somewhere else, and they failed, and they're just really discouraged right now? What would you tell them?
That's funny. One of my best friends graduated and took the Florida bar, and he didn't pass by 3 points. So we had that conversation, and I told him that it will happen. You've gotten this far, it will happen. It doesn't, just because it's not the first time around, or as I've read or I've heard, which is a good phrase, just because it's a no does not mean it's a never. You can do it. You just have to have faith. That's all it is. If it's something that you truly want, you will succeed in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great advice. I want to just for a minute talk a little bit about why you chose Celebration Bar Review and sort of how you've felt about that process, that part of the process. Can you share a little bit about that? Do you remember?
Yeah, definitely. I chose Celebration because I did the research, looked at the reviews online, and I was trying to find a bar review that I felt was small enough that I would get the attention that I needed and would work with my schedule. Granted, the Big Bar, Kaplan, Barbary, they're all online, but they're such big companies that they don't have time to give you that one-on-one with you that some people need. And I know me personally, I needed that. Once I got into the training and into the route, my confidence built. But I don't think without having that personal touch that you give, I would have been able to get to that route. Mm-hmm. So, and just listening to the reviews that were online, it made me feel more confident that this was the right choice for me. So I went with it.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate the confidence that you showed in us, and your willingness to do the work the way we asked you to do it. So this is a pretty massive accomplishment for you, and I look forward to hearing great things from you as a member of the Georgia Bar. I'm glad you're going to be a part of that bar. So, very excited for you, excited for your family. Hope that now you can relax a little bit, enjoy the birthday parties coming up, the 2-year-old and those moments, but also to be able to use your bar membership in whatever way God puts in your path. And I know that as a person of faith, that's exactly what you'll do. It's really been an honor for us to be able to work with you and to see your success. And I know your success will inspire so many other people. Anything else that you'd like to say to folks that are listening or watching today?
I think that I don't believe things happen by chance, and I feel like to be a man of God that you are, and to have this program for students, for people that have lives and can't just study 24/7. I think that this program is awesome. And I'm not just saying that just to say it. I truly believe in what you're doing, and I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, I hear little ones in the background. I think they want their mommy. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today and your story. Wish you all the very best. And to our audience, thanks for joining us for this episode of Hanging Out with very successful bar exam takers. And so congratulations, Dominique, and best of luck to you, and best wishes to all of you. Thanks for being with us today. Bye-bye for now.